Good morning. I'm so excited. I'm headed to my friend's house, Robin's and Yossi's house, and Yossi is going to show us how to make latkes. Latkes is a type of pancake or fritter in Ashkenazi Jewish cuisine that is traditionally prepared to celebrate Hanukkah.
Fancy that stuff.
Yeah, it's an Armenian wine, and they import it from Armenia. It's called Gir, this one. And it belongs to Armas Winery. They are a very big company in Armenia.
Oh, fabulous. Beautiful.
And it, and also the apron and market tote bag. And that's a wine opener from Eggersman showroom from Beverly Hills. That's a sanitizer. You can just put it in your purse, Robin.
Okay.
And you can wear this apron.
Oh, look how fancy. I've never worn an apron.
And that's from Eggersman showroom in Beverly Hills.
Wow, look at you. You're so
I look like a real chef.
Yeah.
You are a chef today.
Today only. This is very fancy.
Thank you, Robin. I feel very honored.
Oh, thank you for being here.
Even in the restaurants, I never wore an apron.
No, I can tell you have to go for Oh, that's my dad.
That's Robin's. To go to shopping.
Yes.
This is
I don't know how much have you done in there for you.
They have a good market at the Calabasas. Have you been? You've been there, I'm sure.
which one?
The Saturday market. Good afternoon. We are here at Yossi's and Robin's house, and Yossi is going to teach us how to make traditional latkes.
Right.
Latkes.
Mm-hmm.
Do I pronounce it right? Latkes?
Perfect.
Latkes.
The-
And
Those are traditionally served on a holiday, a Jewish holiday called Hanukkah, and it's been a staple at Jewish delis forever, and we make it a little different because we don't freeze them. So we do it a little bit different, where it tastes better fresh as opposed to frozen. But you can decide. You could use either flour or matzo meal. I'll explain the differences, and you can figure out how you want to make them.
I'm anxious to learn latkes in a traditional Jewish way, and who else but Yossi, then he's going to show it to us. He owned his own restaurant, and I would like to know about his own restaurant too.
Sure. I've owned a few of them. The original ones were called LATKES. The latest one that we had was called the LALIK'S in Woodland Hills. It was a pretty popular place. Lots of good food, lots of good time, live music, bar, entertainment, pool tables. People in the area knew it.
And I'm so lucky to get to know Yossi and his wife Robin, and they invited me to their kitchen. I'm so honored, and I can't express my gratitude. I cannot put it in words. So let's get started. Let's learn how to make traditional Jewish latkes.
Right. So essentially, we peel the potato. You all know how to peel a potato, and you basically 1 potato per person. So if you have 6 people, 6 potatoes, 12 people, 12 potatoes.
And how about the eggs? How many eggs?
So since we're making 6 potatoes, I cut up 2 onions. I already cut it up.
2 big onions.
2 big onions. And we've got 6 eggs.
And look at the size of the onions. Those are really big
Those are big
onions.
onions, yeah.
And he cut it in half, so we have
Right.
2 big onions here.
And what we're going to do, traditionally, all of that was shredded on these knuckle grinders. And we used to say without a little blood in it. But in any case, now with modern technology, we don't use these anymore. We're
And
going to
we're
use
going to use the blender, Cuisinart,
Right.
to grind it.
How to duplicate this, because there is no blade for it, is that you take the shredder, you know, one of these things, and put it on, and we'll shred it first, and then we will, I'll show you how to do it. It's pretty simple. So it goes like this, and we take the potatoes, get rid of the water, and because of their size, just cut them in half. This is strictly because it doesn't fit into the mouth of the Cuisinart. You put a whole potato in. So we take this out, and we have to shred the onions. So I'm going to take the potatoes we shredded and put it in this dish, just because it's convenient. You don't need to clean anything. You don't need to clean anything. You're gonna reuse it. We're going to do the same to the onions. And we have to start turning black. Oxygen is the enemy of potatoes, and we need to do it as fast as we can so we don't turn the potatoes black. So here we go. The same way I shredded the potatoes, and I'm putting it back in the bowl, because what we have to do is duplicate the grinding. So essentially what we did is we saved an awful lot of time, because grinding takes forever. So So now it's like, what do you call it when you get it at McDonald's? What's that? It's like hash browns. So now it looks like hash browns. And in a lot of Jewish homes you'll find it just like hash browns, but that's not a traditional latke. So what we want to do is we want to duplicate the grinding as opposed to shredding.
So you're grinding with the bigger size or the smaller?
No, I'll show it to you when I get it. What we don't want to do is we don't want to liquefy it. We just want to grind it. So
you're making it even smaller.
Yeah, we're making it. See, look, we're making into this texture.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you show the texture as well?
Here's the difference. Yeah. Here's the difference. We started off with this, and we wind up with this.
I see.
See, and this blade will, we started off with the shredding blade, right? And then we went into this blade, the knife blade that sits on the bottom, and we just shredded it to the texture that we want, right? So we're gonna do it again until we get done with. Now we're doing it the potatoes and the onions at the same time, you notice, right?
So it will mix together.
Yeah. When it mixes together, it's exactly what we. But by the way, doing it this way saves hours, because grinding potatoes and onions on this one at a time,
elbow grease,
that will take 2.5 hours. Here we'll do it in a few minutes.
So you have to do this fast in order for the potatoes not to oxidize.
Exactly. And it doesn't take very long, and we get the exact texture that we want. And like I said, traditionally it took hours. When we had the restaurant, and we had 100 people coming to join us for Hanukkah celebration, we had all the staff in the kitchen standing there by hand with a dozen of these, doing it like an assembly line all morning long. And
so this was before the Cuisinart?
no, that's before I figured out how to do it with a Cuisinart. I should have known how to do it before, but I didn't. So this is.
Yeah, it saves a lot of time.
It saves hours and labor.
First you grind it, then you blend it to make it smaller particles.
That's right. It's this texture.
I just want to repeat it for our viewers so they'll know what to do.
And this is the blade. I don't know what it's called, but this is the blade. Every Cuisinart's got it. So anyway, people still come to our house thinking that traditionally, we used to do it by hand. They still think that we do it by hand, but I don't give them the secret, so we don't.
Now the secret is out and everybody knows how you do it, yes.
The secret is the blender. This was traditionally done for a holiday called Hanukkah, and it's a Northern European tradition, goes back maybe 1,000 years or more. And Jews celebrate Hanukkah all over the world, but they celebrate it differently. Like different dishes from North Africa, different dishes from Persia or China or wherever they are, Central or South America. Regardless of where they come from, they bring the traditions with them. So this is like Russia, Poland, Germany, that Northern European tradition. It has now been adopted by every Jewish deli. You can just buy it as.
And what's the difference between the deli board and this one?
Right. So the difference in the delis is that instead of using flour, and I'll show you how we use the flour. As a matter of fact, let me use the flour right now. So this is just all-purpose flour. You buy it at any market, and My problem at the moment is that I do it by feel. I don't know the measurement. So let's start with, this is 1 cup.
That's 1 cup.
Okay, so let's start with 1 cup, and I just blend it in. Okay, and what happens is,
You don't drain the water
No,
or
no.
the liquid. Okay,
No.
this will absorb everything.
that's correct. I used to sift it, but I don't. It's not necessary. So this is 1 cup. It probably needs another half a cup or so. Potatoes from oxidizing. See, so when we put a barrier on top, like so.
Oh, okay, so it
Then-
will stop the oxidation.
Exactly. Stop the oxidation, and the color turning. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to put the rest of the ingredients on top, and I broke 5 eggs and break the last one, and I'm going to mix it, and then simply put it on top, and this liquid will prevent. Would be another barrier to oxygenation before we mix it. So if I'm not looking at you, I have to pay attention to what I'm doing. So I'm adding it to the top, and as you can see, I just created a liquid barrier to the mix. So in any case, you could use, if you're gluten-free, if you have allergies to the flour, you could use rice flour, which is perfect. It functions the same as AP flour for those who are gluten intolerant. In delis, they use matzo meal, which gives them the ability to freeze it. Matzo meal doesn't collapse and doesn't lose its the height that it gives the potato latke once it's fried. So as you can see, it's already baked into a crispy shell. Now they grind it and they make flour out of it, but it doesn't lose its crispiness, and that's why they can freeze it. But we're not going to do that because we're going to eat it fresh. Frozen, people claim it tastes the same. It doesn't taste the same to me. So in any case, now we have our egg, we have our flour, we have our ground potatoes, we have our ground onions already mixed. We need to salt and pepper it just to give it a little bit more of a flavor. I never use measuring sticks or spoons or whatever it is. I do it by feel, I do it by color. So I'm going to grind fresh pepper about as much as I feel is necessary. Maybe, let's see, it could be a half a teaspoon, maybe a teaspoon. It's
Actually,
better.
salt and pepper is up to their taste,
Right.
whichever is to your taste.
Correct. But you might prefer to use white pepper instead of black pepper because it doesn't change the color. Black pepper, you'll notice the black. And as far as salt is concerned, I just, it's a teaspoon.
It's about a tablespoon.
Tablespoon, so we'll do.
2 tablespoons.
Yeah. Now the thing is that when it's done and you taste it and there's not enough of whatever, you can add it on to the top. You know? We're going to add some stuff onto the top to enhance the flavor anyway. So what we have to do now, which is the last step before frying, is mix it all up. So normally I use the bigger. You know what? Let me use the bigger. Using my hands, then using spoons or knives or forks or whatever. I get a feel for it. It feels good. My hands are clean. There we go. This is the fun.
That's how it's done.
This is how it's done. And this is
And we are learning it from the professional restaurateur.
This is typically a Northern European dish that was introduced into the Hanukkah celebration. Different Jews from different parts of the world have different traditional dishes that they make. Yeah. This is potatoes were in abundant supply in Poland, Russia, Germany, all the Slavic states, and Jews immigrated from there to Israel, to Europe.
And where are your ancestors from?
They come from Lithuania, Northern
Lithuania.
Europe, right, which is next to Russia, next to Poland.
They came straight to America, or they went to somewhere else?
Well, no, some of them, they went all over the world. A lot of them went to Cincinnati in the United States. Some went to South America. Some went to South America. My parents went to Israel. So they're all over the world.
Do you speak any Lithuanian? Do you
No. My parents
Have you
did.
visited Lithuania?
Yes, we went to, Robin and I went to visit a few years ago, went to visit Lithuania, went to the village that my parents were born in. We went to Latvia, Estonia. We actually went to Poland as well. So we did a trip.
European tour.
Yeah, and we did it by, now we're starting to cook. So I heated up the oil, as you saw me, I was sprinkling some water on it. I heated up the oil to about 350, 375. You don't want it to smoke. Once it's smoked, it's burnt. So if it starts smoking, just lower down the heat. And then I took a spoon that looks like this. I don't know how much the measurement is, but somewhere in the level, later on. Just to let you know, the first batch is never going to be the best batch. The last batch is always the best batch. Right. I don't know the
Why is that?
I don't know the reason, but I always like the last batch better.
You have to do it in lots of oil. So you're using vegetable oil?
It's vegetable oil. Yeah, it's just vegetable oil. Any kind of oil will do. I like vegetable better. Olive oil is not good for it. Peanut oil is okay, not my preferred oil. And you can see it sizzles, and this one is already starting to change color. You don't want to turn it too many times. You only want to do it once. So you need to look at it and determine the point that you want to flip it. Okay, I'm using, what is it, chopsticks? Skewers. You can use skewers, you can use chopsticks, you can use any. So now, I'm just gonna, that's the color you want. This golden brown right there. This is not dark enough so you can see the difference. It's sour cream and applesauce. Applesauce with cinnamon, without cinnamon, red apples, yellow apples, green apples, it doesn't matter. It just, you get the sweet, you get the sour, and you get the body of the potato after. I just pulled this out of the oil. This is what it's supposed to look like. I'm putting it on a paper towel so it drains out, and it doesn't absorb a lot of oil. There's going to be a lot of oil remaining in the pot. And this takes another minute, but it's fantastic. I eat my fill. Yeah, I eat my fill before my guests arrive.
So you approve it before you serve it.
Every single bite, yeah.
We have something like this. We make it for Lent too. We call it oje. We use eggs and different kind of herbs. We cut the herbs very finely, mix it together with all sorts of seasonings, different kind of seasoning. Maybe I'll make that and invite you one day, so you can taste it
wonderful.
too. That would be, you'll taste our traditional food too. We make that for Lent. So we call it oje, and it's with like different kind of herbs and eggs. So it's the same idea. We cook it the same way. And it's delicious too.
You can do a twist on that by adding fresh garlic, right? Not powder, but fresh. So it gives it a different flavor profile. I mean, you can add almost anything to it.
Any kind of herbs.
Any kind of herb. You can add parsley. You can add chives. You can add. Those kind of
veal,
herbs,
veal
sure.
would be nice too if you're going to serve it with salmon.
Oh, if you want to saute leeks, you could do all kinds of wonderful stuff.
What?
So traditionally, this is how we serve it. We serve it with applesauce and sour cream, and you put it on top. And
And that's how you.
yeah, and that's good. You can taste it. It's really.
Like Yosef said, we eat this hot while it's cooking, and we cannot wait until we finish the whole batch. Let me see. So delicious. I can eat this whole thing. So delicious.
I will.
Thanks, Yosef, for showing it to us and teaching me how to make this. Now this will become part of my menu.
Excellent.
I'll make this. It's great. It's a great. It could be a side dish. It could be a whole meal.
Yeah,
It could be an appetizer.
absolutely.
It's so great.
It's if you're planning to serve mashed potatoes, you could do this as a substitute. A baked potato, you could do this as a substitute.
It is delicious. I highly suggest everybody to try this. Very good.
Yeah. There's interesting shapes. You can eat it with your fingers. You can eat it with a fork. You can eat it with sauce, without sauce.
I'm going to finish this.
Now, here's the cool
You
thing.
need to leave some.
As much as we're making
Uh-huh.
is disappearing.
It is, yeah. Yossi worked so hard and he made these delicious latkes. We were munching on it while he was cooking. It was disappearing as he was cooking. Now we have to do our final testing. He said this last batch was the best one, so we have to see. Thank you, Yossi, for having me in your house, in
Thank you
your
for
kitchen. We have to do this again. I very much enjoyed learning from you. He is a restaurateur. He has opened many restaurants throughout his lifetime, and he is the best to learn from. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. I appreciate the opportunity. It was wonderful.
Thank you. It was wonderful for me too. L'chaim
L'chaim.
and cheers and genats in Armenian.
Robin is the one who did most of the cleaning and she's not here right now, but we appreciate for both of them having us here.
Thank you, Robin, for helping us. Thank you so much for opening your house for us. Thank you both. And we will do this
Do it
again
again.
at my house. We have to cook Armenian dish this time. I'm going to teach Yossi how to cook
He
Armenian.
would teach
Love
you
to learn.
probably.
Love to learn.
We have to learn from each other.
Right.
Thank you all, and have a wonderful day, wonderful week, and wonderful
Wonderful
life.
L'chaim.
Cheers to you all. If you have any delicious recipes you have to share with me, please write to me. I release new videos every Sunday at 10 a.m. Please don't forget to hit that like button and also subscribe. Cheers to you all.